as big as the entire stock market and bond market. I mean, the world real estate market is enormous. And it's yet more money that's got to go pushed into Bitcoin, which is why I think the next couple decades, Bitcoin's going to 100x. It's that simple. It really will, 100x. Bitcoin's going to $10 million a coin in a couple, somewhere between 15 and 25 years, I would say. The mid-market would be 20 years, which, will go by. The really smart people are going to rent their entire lives. They're going to buy Bitcoin with their savings. They're going to hold it. They're not going to pay any taxes on it. They're going to have to worry about renting it out. They're going to have to worry about Airbnb laws or anything else. And they just won't need to live within this world of income and tenants and maintenance and real estate taxes and everything. So
there is no denying that Bitcoin is revolutionizing the world of money. In the upcoming years, Bitcoin's value might increase 50 to 100 times, reaching an incredible $10 million per coin, according to Wall Street veteran and cryptocurrency specialist Fred Krueger. What is causing this significant change? According to Krueger, Bitcoin's unparalleled liquidity, low maintenance costs, and tax benefits are causing capital to migrate away from conventional assets like real estate. For centuries, real estate was seen as the ultimate inflation hedge, but Bitcoin is rewriting that narrative. Watch till the end as Fred Krueger breaks down why Bitcoin isn't just an alternative but the future of wealth preservation. But before we do, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for daily updates. Now, here's Fred Krueger with his bold new prediction.
But let's go to an article that was written yesterday saying all the reasons why real estate is so much better than Bitcoin. Okay, here's written. Of course, it's written by a real estate real estate industry, and here's what they're saying. Well, number one, if you own real estate, you're going to keep up with inflation. This is great. You have this problem with money printing, you don't have it with inflation. You just hold on. Real estate, the average return's been over 26%. I don't even know what that means. It's not 26% per year, but whatever it means, I think that's an erroneous number. But they're saying it keeps up with inflation, more or less. And I say more or less. It's stable, right? Well, it is more stable than Bitcoin. You have a house, generally speaking, you can sell it for 20% more or less than your house if you have to sell it in a year. Bitcoin can go up or down a lot more, so that is true. Real estate is more stable than Bitcoin. Real estate is tangible, of course. It's tangible. You don't need tangible. Tangible is not a good thing, though. This is just the same thing. Gold is tangible, so it's better than Bitcoin. This is an argument that's just fallacious. Real estate brings in income. Oh, wow. This is an argument that people they're obsessed with this income thing. It doesn't matter. It only matters that in the end you make a lot more money than in the beginning. If it trickles in every year or every month, it doesn't matter. The trickling doesn't matter. Real estate has tax benefits. Well, it kind of does now. But Bitcoin has some pretty big tax benefits, actually, because there's no real estate tax on Bitcoin. So this is a pretty big benefit. And then again, Bitcoin's more volatile. Well, that's, again, the same point as this one, which is stability, right? So if it's stable, it's not volatile. If it's volatile, it's not stable. Okay, we got that point. So that's the counterpoint. Now, my point is really done in this tweet. I think it's a much bigger point. I think we are looking at really a once in maybe a millennial sea change where real estate is going to severely underperform Bitcoin over the next couple decades. Now, for centuries, real estate has been the best inflation hedge. John Jacob Astor, the fur trader, who was the richest man in New York, whose great-great-grandson died in the Titanic, right? He made all his money by buying New York real estate. And he did that in the early 1800s. People have bought real estate in ancient Rome and did well. I mean, this has been around since gold. It's like gold. It's in our psyche. But guess what? We now have something that's infinitely better. There's no real estate taxes. There's no tenants. There's no maintenance. And more importantly, it can be sold in seconds. I have a castle. It's the worst investment I've ever made in my life. It's vaguely fun to have, but from an investment point of view, it's stupid. I can't sell. It would take me a year to sell this thing. It's just a nightmare. Maintenance is ridiculous. So, the maintenance and the liquidity angle alone is really going to just make real estate just totally underperform. And so I think we're going to see a complete sea change where the really smart people are going to rent their entire lives. They're going to buy Bitcoin with their savings. They're going to hold it. They're not going to pay any taxes on it. They're going to have to worry about renting it out. They're going to have to worry about Airbnb laws or anything else. And they just won't need to live within this world of income and tenants and maintenance and real estate tax and everything. So the idea of buying a house is going to be for losers. You won't need it, and you'll be able to rent. And if you'll rent a great house in Los Angeles, if you want to move to New York, you go rent a fantastic condo in New York. You want to move to Paris? Fine, go to Tokyo for a year. I mean, spend a year in Japan. Just rent something amazing. And guess what? Nobody can afford really high rents. Right? So, if you've got Bitcoin, you just pay over the top, pay the top 1%. You're going to get the best place around.
Bitcoin is becoming a popular replacement for real estate, particularly among Gen Z and Millennials. Long-term mortgages, soaring housing costs, and few options for traditional real estate investments to generate wealth are all problems that these younger generations must deal with. These issues are especially acute in places like Singapore and Hong Kong. Younger investors are turning to Bitcoin, in contrast to older generations who amassed money through real estate. Bitcoin, sometimes referred to as virtual real estate, has two main benefits. Unlike the high hurdles of homeownership, its supply is limited to 21 million coins, making it more rare than actual property, and its liquid market enables quick and affordable trades. Tech-savvy and receptive to cryptocurrency, Gen Z and Millennials believe Bitcoin is a better long-term investment to increase financial security. People of all ages will start switching from real estate to Bitcoin as it becomes more popular, according to experts. For individuals seeking to accumulate long-term wealth, a buy-and-hold strategy for Bitcoin could have the same effect as traditional real estate in the past. Now, let's return to Fred Krueger as he continues this insightful discussion.
Really what this means is the smart people are going to save their money in Bitcoin, not real estate. And this is really going to be a pivotal moment that's going to change really class structure because, we've had this kind of generation of landlords, who've kind of been, in charge for the last couple hundred years. And now that generation of landlords is going to be replaced by people who are smart about Bitcoin. So, here's a few things that I would just say that are happening kind of at the intersection of real estate and Bitcoin. Just touch on. This is our friend Grant Cardone is launching a Bitcoin real estate fund. I'm not sure this makes a lot of sense, but I think what it tells you is that the real estate market is feeling it's realizing that it's in trouble. Right, that they need to somehow latch onto this Bitcoin story. So here you participate in this fund, you get a lot of real estate and you get a little bit of Bitcoin. Okay, this thing is something that I think people are trying to push, which is mortgages. Hey, buy a house, buy our overpriced real estate, and pay for it by a loan in crypto. That makes a little bit more sense. You don't have to, you can buy a loan, but why? I would just rent. I would just take out the loan and rent and not even be tied to an ownership structure. This is my friend Natalia, who is doing this thing called propping. Now, this thing I think makes a lot of sense. This is, if you do want to buy real estate, kind of automating the process of it versus using the blockchain, getting all the title and stuff, making that more efficient. I don't know, it may be a little early for this, but I think it's ultimately a very good idea. This is a completely antiquated industry that needs to change. So yeah, that's my thing on real estate. I think, it is just this massive, it's as big as the entire stock market and bond market. I mean, the world real estate market is enormous. And it's yet more money that's got to go pushed into Bitcoin, which is why I think the next couple decades, Bitcoin's going to 100x. It's that simple. It really will, 100x. Bitcoin's going to $10 million a coin in a couple, somewhere between 15 and 25 years, I would say. The mid market would be 20 years, which, will go by. I remember 20 years ago, some younger people are just like, that's forever. Well, it's not. And what it means is that you can save along the way, any job you have, you can save sats. It's a great savings mechanism. But I just think we're in the sea change, this technological sea change, where you have these two fundamental technologies that are going to change the entire world. On one hand, you have AI, where you have thinking machines, and that's going to totally change the world. And the second is Bitcoin, which is going to completely change how you store value. I mean, it's just, and money, right? But it's just really the store of value versus stocks and real estate. It's that simple. Both stocks and real estate are going to go down in importance relative to Bitcoin.
Fred Krueger highlights that a significant turning point in financial history has occurred with the move from real estate to Bitcoin as the primary store of value. According to him, smart money will progressively go into Bitcoin rather than more conventional assets like real estate, radically changing the class structures in society. For generations, landlords and property owners have dominated the economy, but Krueger contends that as a new generation of Bitcoin-savvy investors emerges, this dominance will wane. Krueger gives instances of how Bitcoin and real estate continue to intertwine. As evidence that the real estate sector is struggling with its waning dominance, he cites initiatives like Grant Cardone's Bitcoin Real Estate Fund, which aims to combine the two asset classes. He also talks about new concepts that could improve the outdated real estate market, such automating property transactions with blockchain, but they can't compete with Bitcoin's accessibility and efficiency. In the end, Krueger thinks that the massive global real estate market will invest a lot of money in Bitcoin, pushing its value to $10 million in the next 15 to 25 years. This significant transformation is a reflection of a technological revolution driven by two groundbreaking inventions: Bitcoin, which is changing the way we store and transfer value, and artificial intelligence, which is changing the way we think. Krueger emphasizes the value of implementing a save and SATS approach and exhorts people to amass Bitcoin as a dependable long-term savings option. In his ideal world, Bitcoin will surpass stocks and real estate in importance. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell for more in-depth analyses of macroeconomic and cryptocurrency trends.